November 7th, 2019. Thank you for joining me today at Simple Life Show. Today we're going to be talking about James Dean. We're going to be talking about movies. We're going to be talking about what's kind of going on in Hollywood. First, I would like to say that it's cold out there. I'm in Ohio, and it is getting around freezing temperatures in the beginning of November. This is something that I am not really used to. I'm actually from Colorado, lived there many years. And, I'm not going to say that the winters were coming sooner, but they were. Sometimes they were a little bit later. But you know what? I was thinking about this. I'm wondering how many climate change riots and protests and all these rallies are going to happen in the middle of winter. It's really kind of hypocritical, because whenever it gets cold, then you can't really make the argument that the world's burning up. And we're having a lot of early winters. Sometimes we have late summers. Sometimes we have early summers. And on it goes, because if you look back in history, we've had this stuff happen over and over. We've had weird weather all throughout our recorded history. And we can only assume that it has gone back before then. So that's all I'm going to say about that. So this new James Dean movie that's going to be coming out within a year, it is, of course, a CGI James Dean. It's not going to be the actual James Dean, because James Dean has been dead for 65 years around. And, of course, if you don't know anything about James Dean, he was a not so much prolific actor, but he was a very popular actor back in the mid-50s. Played in East of Eden, played in Rebel Without a Cause, and Giant. I believe there were 3 movies that he was in. And I believe he actually was awarded the Academy Award or Oscar for 2 of those. So, he was one of those actors that was taken too soon. Reminds me of Paul Walker. Paul Walker wasn't a great actor, though. I mean, you can't really compare the two. Their deaths were very similar, though. Paul Walker died with one of his friends inside of a Porsche doing stupid things and hitting something and crashing and getting stuck in the car, burning alive. Pretty much a similar way that James Dean did. I believe his main reason why he died was due to a broken neck. So there was a lot of controversy about it, about the guy that was actually responsible, or they say they were responsible was for the crash. Some say it wasn't James Dean's fault. Some say it was. That's not really the point of what we're talking about here. We're really talking about what has happened to movies, where the movies have gotten so bad over the last 10, 15, 20 years or so. I think that the 80s and the 90s were some of the best years for movies, in my opinion. And I can really say that. I mean, yeah, it's my opinion, but I mean, if you look at some of the acting and some of the stories that they were coming up with and stuff like that, it was very creative. Some of the soundtracks were just awesome. Now everything is just computer generated. There's not really a lot of artistry that goes into it. So now we have to resurrect our dead celebrities, people from the past, to play in movies. That did it with Paul Walker. They did that with the last Fast and Furious. Not the last one, I believe the one before that. But they've done that with a lot of big name actors. They have resurrected them from the dead. I'm pretty sure that they probably did that with Tupac as well. I don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. I believe that I was hearing something about Robin Williams, and that maybe he had something where no one could use his image. But I don't really think anybody really wants to see Robin Williams anymore. I know that he was dealing with a lot of depression and stuff like that, but he could have got some help. I just don't ever agree with just taking your own life, and I don't believe you're a hero when you do that. Life is hard. It's very confusing. But when we have a society that is so centered on the self, when we become lost, we lose everything. When we become depressed, it becomes even worse, because we don't have a foundation. We don't have a foundation to give us that meaning to our lives, because then we live without purpose. And if we don't have a purpose in life, if everything is just pure chaos, as they would like you to believe, then there's no reason to be morally outraged by anything. There's no reason to have any kind of faith in anything. There's no reason to have purpose in your life. And I would challenge those who are, that might think differently than that to really think about it just for, a moment, rather than just, adhering to some sort of ideology that's part of some sort of groupthink that you may or may not be part of. But I am just challenging everyone to think about this. So this new movie that's coming out with James Dean, it's just kind of abhorrent what they're really doing here, because the state of movies is really bad as it is right now. A lot of it's just simply propaganda that's just intended to make you believe or think in a certain way, because the more you're subjected to it, the more that you are actually subdued into it or submerged into it, your consciousness does become subdued in a certain type of ideology and groupthink. And so a lot of times you're not aware of this, and you're not aware of it until later, because then it comes out when you're least expecting. So this is a soft war, a soft type of terrorism that's happening. Soft war, cyber war, entertainment war against the human psyche to make it believe a certain thing that may or may not be there, may or may not be true. So I think that the rational side of our brain is actually really being subdued by the entertainment that we're around, and we are not able to actually access a lot of that part of our mind, and not so much our brain but our mind, because a lot of it is subdued. And it's a type of hypnosis. It's a trance that Hollywood has put us in. The entertainment industry has put our collective consciousness in, where we're not able to actually see the world for what it really is. We rather see the veil that is put over our eyes, and we see the world in a different way rather than what it truly is. It's why people can walk around and believe that they're unicorn toasters, and that's fine. And I'm assuming there's probably going to be an actual organization for the unicorn toaster affiliation. It's just getting kind of ridiculous out there. So there's a lot of groups out there that are actually upset with what they're doing with James Dean. And I'm going to play a little clip for you. I believe it's from Time Magazine. I might not play the whole thing. I don't know if it's copyrighted or not, but I didn't download or anything, but I did want you to watch it. Just 1 second.
The team behind a new independent film is facing backlash after announcing they would be computer-generating James Dean to appear in it. The CGI Dean will reportedly have a co-starring role in Finding Jack, a film about the Vietnam War based on a novel of the same name. The filmmakers plan to achieve this by using old footage and photos of the late actor, while another actor will voice the part. Chris Evans spoke about the idea on Twitter, writing, quote, "Maybe we can get a computer to paint us a new Picasso, or write a couple new John Lennon tunes. The complete lack of understanding here is shameful." The filmmakers and the production company Magic City Films did acquire the rights to Dean's likeness from CMG Worldwide. CMG's chairman and CEO Mark Rossler suggests the company is confident Dean himself would support what he called a modern-day act of rebellion.
Yeah, so I didn't really think it was necessary to play the whole thing, but you got the kind of gist of what some of the backlash is. I'm going to go and I'm going to show some of these tweets that actually just came out here. Some of these people are just kind of really upset with this. Let me see. There was one from Chris Evans. Yeah, Chris Evans, obviously Captain America. I'm sure he'd be thrilled. This is awful. Maybe we can get a computer to paint us a new Picasso or write a couple new John Lennon tunes, as you already read about there, and that's true. That is true. You can't. There's some things that a computer just can't do. Okay, and this is what I'm really talking about. Okay, I'm talking about the merging of man and machine, and I think this is just another way that people do it, whether it's intentional or not. Okay, this is the groupthink that is going around, and it's part of this shifting ideology and the shifting viewpoints on what really makes a human. And if we can do this with dead celebrities, and we can just make sure that we can continue making money off them, and we can use the machines and the artificial type of acting and stuff from someone that's not James Dean or anyone else for that matter, I think it's abhorrent. It really takes away from the true idea of human ingenuity, human creativity, and all of these human genius that goes behind a lot of these actors of the past that have really blazed the trail just for a lot of the actors right now to just squat and take a massive poop on, and I think that's what's really happening with the Hollywood today. We're just we're playing to the lowest common denominator now. And I'm not on the side of Scorsese. I think he's a complete punk. I really do. I don't think he should have ever opened his mouth on this. Yeah, Marvel is the junk food of the entertainment world. But I'm a fan of both. I love the Marvel films. I don't like all of them, but I love the Avengers and stuff like that. It was very entertaining. But then again, I loved a lot of the classics as well. Just as much as I love heavy metal, I love death metal and that screamo stuff. But I also listen to classical music too. I am a very odd person where I try to keep everything balanced. I don't want to go in one direction or the other. I try to see everything for what it truly is. Now, when it comes to music, there's one thing I just do not want to listen to, is that's country music. I don't like it. And I'm not going to sit there and listen to R&B or rap either, other than maybe when I'm working out. I think it motivates me, and I think it pumps me up, just like metal does. But since I play guitar and I play metal music on my guitar, then I'll probably listen to it more recreationally. But that's beside the point. A lot of people are really upset about this. That was Chris Evans here. Elijah Wood said, nope, this shouldn't be a thing. I agree with Mr. Wood on that. Devin Sawa said they couldn't give this role to an actual human. That's a good point, I just don't understand. I mean, there's a lot of really good-looking guys out there that kind of look like James Dean. Why not just do a movie with someone that looks like James Dean? I don't know. Oh, how about this? How about we just leave the whole James Dean thing behind and, respect him for the actor that he was, mourn him for his early passing. But let's really focus on creating great films that have a good message, that have message that's thought-provoking. The only time that I actually really enjoy a movie, the only time that I really want to talk about a movie or something like that is when I have something to talk about, when something that is thought-provoking. A lot of the movies out there are just so non-thought-provoking. They don't really have much depth to them. The characters don't have depth to them. They are not telling the human story the way they should. And just simply being audacious just to be audacious, or simply having an alternative point of view just because it's trendy, is not something that I'm really interested in. I'm looking for stuff that might be a little controversial, sure, but I want that controversy to be thought-provoking. I want to be challenged in what I already believe, that I think I believe right now. I think that the more that we are subjected to that, then the more we will be able to think clearly as a human race. I don't think that we're challenged enough, and I think that this is just an example of that, where we have decided to put, or starting to put, dead actors in an artificial intelligence type of mainframe computers so they can continue entertaining us. Jackson Rathbone says, as a huge fan and performer, I'm saddened and vexed by this casting image and is not performance. Okay, so Zelda Williams, finally, we'll talk here. We'll read this. When I have talked to friends about this for years, and no one ever believed me that the industry would stoop this low once tech got better, and I believe it's only going to get better. Publicity stunt or not, this is a puppeteering the dead for their clout alone, and it set such an awful precedent for the future of performance. I believe she is absolutely right on that one as well. I know there's probably a lot of people in Hollywood that would agree with this, and they like the fact that this is happening. I think that the more you think about this, the worse it's going to feel, the worse it's going to appear. It's just not a good look for Hollywood to be doing this. I think there's plenty of great actors out there that are not getting the fair share that they need, their due, their shot. I think that we are just completely reusing a lot of these household names and not really expanding out into the type of people out there that can actually act, that do have good stories to be told. I mean, the fact of the matter is that there's a wealth of short stories and books out there that are excellent stories that can be done, that can be taken and turned into movies and stuff like that, and films. But Hollywood doesn't seem that they're really interested in that. I don't know why. Maybe it's the fact that people don't like real stories anymore. They don't like thought-provoking stories, and I think that is a very, very sad reality that we're living in right now. But I'm not going to continue rambling on about this. What are your thoughts about this? I mean, if you like to watch movies, is this something that you really want to see more of? Do you want to see more dead celebrities being brought back to life? I think it's kind of creepy. I think that, especially for the family, I know if I was a relative of James Dean, I wouldn't want to, I wouldn't want to take part in that. Maybe that's just me. I want to let the dead be have those that passed on. We remember them, and I know they look down on us, and they remember us as well. So until next time, this is Joe with Simple Life. I will see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.